Hey, what's happening, guys? As you know, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 ends with this visual effects greatest teaser showing all the villains, such as Doc Ock's arms, there's also Vulture's wings, Rhino's horn, and as confirmed just recently by Mark Webb, the mask actually belongs to Mysterio, not the Chameleon. There's also a part of Kraven's weapon, his sword or spear, or I don't know, it's Kraven basically. So we've got all the villains, and of course there's also a Green Goblin's glider. Now today we will show you something really nice here. Special thanks to Ash Thorpe, who worked with the Blur Studio, and the Blur Studio created this visual effects teaser. These are the snapshots of the alternate The Amazing Spider-Man 2 release teaser, and I'm joined by Forrest. Hi, Forrest.
Hi.
And Ben.
Hey everybody, I'll make sure not to say anything that gets you all angry at me and call me a dumbass who doesn't know Spider-Man, like in the Avengers video from...
Oh, it's already happened to me.
Unfortunately, it isn't really a video, but these are the snapshots, and as Dr. Kafka would have said, these are some nice tentacles. You know, Doc Ock, I really hope he will speak with some accent. I just hope it won't be the same as the German Kafka's accent.
Well, I remember one thing. It was a dumb theory in my opinion, but I remember it was a video by the... It was one of the schmoes. They thought Dr. Kafka would become Doc Ock.
Yeah, I've been reading about it as well somewhere. So guys, as you can see right here, these snapshots provide us a better look at Doc Ock's arms. Now, this isn't a concept artwork. This is the real thing. This teaser is the alternate teaser, so we could get it instead of what we've got eventually. And these arms, pretty much, I think, in my opinion, looks just like the Ultimate Doc Ock's tentacles, right?
Oh yeah, it does, definitely.
It's clearly
the hand part, like, it kind of looks like they're going for a mix of what they had in the Raimi movies with Ultimate, with what they're doing with the tentacle-ish part of the arms.
Talking about the Ultimate Doc Ock, besides the tentacles, I'm pretty sure they will go with the Ultimate origin as well, where he worked for Osborn Industries, and he became Doc Ock the moment Norman turned into Green Goblin. There was this explosion, as far as I remember. Technically, Doc Ock will work for Oscorp. Everyone will work for Oscorp. Now we can see here as well. I think it's a Goblin's glider down below there. Ben, Forrest.
Can't exactly make that out as a Goblin's glider, but...
Well, it says Dandy Han as Green Goblin. It does look like Goblin's glider. I'm curious if his glider will be the same as in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know, he will be the part of the Sinister Six, obviously. As for the other thing, I can't make up what's there, honestly.
I can actually see one that looks like the Rhino.
Really? Which
Yeah,
one?
it's like, from what you gave us, it's like right before the Emma Stone credit.
I see a gun off the Goblin's glider with it directed by Mark Webb.
Yeah, Mysterio mask, unfortunately, it's not there.
I can see why it wasn't used then if it's this hard to make things out. It was hard enough with some of the things in the actual credits scene.
Yeah,
It looks like a PlayStation 1 game.
I'm trying to read up all these schematics, you know, but I can't make anything out of it.
I'll give it this much. This alternate one is very creative. I would have loved if they would have went with this, at least for Doc Ock's tentacles. I definitely wish they would have went with that instead of what we got in the real credits, because that looks really cool.
I think I found the Vulture's wing. A part of the Vulture's wing, yes. Forrest, your take on the Ultimate Doc Ock, and do you think he will work for... Probably he will work for Oscorp, right?
Of course, I mean, this whole series is taking inspiration from the Ultimate comics, so I can see it easily saying, oh, we're almost making a different origin. I mean, everyone's like saying the Electro story was original with him being sympathetic. That's taken from the new animated series.
Yeah. This reminds me of how back in 2003, I think... No, back in 2002, after Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, they actually released a short teaser showing Doc Ock's tentacles, if you remember. Before this Spider-Man 2, it was just a teaser.
First thing I remember from Spider-Man 2 was just that teaser, which was just Peter talking to MJ in a diner. But...
Yeah, well, before that, they showed the concept of the tentacles, and these were the tentacles that were actually in the film. So I believe what we're seeing here are actually Ultimate Doc Ock tentacles, and that's what we will see in the Sinister Six.
They might even go with the spectacular Spider-Man origin, that like similar to what they did with Electro's. You know, maybe his personality wasn't the same, but his origin was pretty much identical to Spectacular. Maybe this time they'll do the same sort of thing, whereas Harry deliberately Harry is the Goblin, sabotages an experiment, causing him to turn into Doc Ock that way.
Oh, it does make sense indeed, considering that Harry Osborn is probably the leader of the Sinister Six, as we got by the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, or the
Yeah,
Gentleman.
either Mr. Fierce could do it, or yeah, the Gentleman or Harry could do it. That's
This
either one of
particular
the two.
Spider-Man Doc Ock was really creepy, though.
He was skinny.
Still,
Hold on.
the reason to be excited is the clear look at Doc Ock's arms. I'm pretty sure that's what we will see in the Sinister Six. And, you know, they teased in the Target exclusive Sinister Six, Mark Webb talks about the Sinister Six, and there's a Norman Osborn's head on the wall, a picture of his head in the Sinister Six sort of category. So I think now Norman Osborn will be back. I think.
Which does remind me, I was pissed that wasn't in when they were announcing the Blu-ray. I was hoping that it would be like, oh, we didn't have the actual after credit scene in the theater, we had the X-Men thing, but now we're gonna put the real one on the Blu-ray for you guys. No, they didn't. Nothing at the end of the credits.
So if Norman Osborn returns and they will go with the Ultimate Origin, so I think, you know, the explosion, maybe Doc Ock will be working on this whole thing, and he will become Doc Ock the moment Norman Osborn becomes Doc. I just can't see all of this happening in one movie, in one Sinister Six spin-off film. I mean, it's a 2-hour film, right?
They could all already be their villains by the beginning of the movie, and we can get like quick flashbacks maybe for each villain, or they could pull a sort of Incredible Hulk thing, whereas they give a sort of during the opening scene, opening credits, they show all the origins to get them out of the way, and then.
Well, at least we don't need the origin for the Rhino. I mean, a lot of people complaining, what's the point? What was the point of the Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man 2? Well, here's something I thought about recently. You know, at least we won't see the introduction of Rhino, and you know, they could spare some time. So since he was introduced in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, does Rhino even really need an origin story? He's a big Russian. He's a big stupid Russian in a Rhino suit. You don't really need much other than that.
Well,
I just remember he was the blue guy from Big Fat Liar.
And if the Lizard is returning, which is unlikely, he does need an origin story as well.
Well, considering with like I said this before in the Electro video, that I have doubts that either Lizard or Electro will return, because they, like, by themselves required a huge budget to do. So at having them plus 5 or 4 other villains in there, it will make the budget like skyrocket and be like, they thought Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a bit of a loss. If they spent even more money, it's going to be even more ridiculous. Like, they're not going to make that back. Well, they'll make it back, but it's still not going to be as much as they want to make if they have Electro and Lizard, with it being as much crap as they had to spend just to make Electro and Lizard look right.
Right. Yeah, so the Sinister Six is coming out, and there are no news, absolutely nothing, no casting rumors, nothing.
It comes out in 2016, so it's
2016, right? Yeah, and it's
so 2 years away. I'm not surprised they haven't announced any kind of. They're probably not going to announce any casting until early next year, as my guess.
My guess is probably November. We will get something October, November already. If you remember correctly, Jamie Foxx was announced as Electro very early. It was back in 2012, and it was actually in October, I believe.
Yes, but that was also for a movie that was being released in May, whereas Sinister Six, if I remember correctly, is being released in November.
November 11th, right, yeah. Alrighty, guys, special thanks to Ash Thorpe, and special thanks to Blur Studio as well. Thanks for joining Ben Forrest. You can check out Ben's YouTube channel in the description box, same goes for Forrest. Thanks for watching, guys, and also, I forgot something interesting here.
Oh, great.
I completely forgot about something. Just recently, one of my fans messaged me on Facebook, and he told me, Seven, I finally know where Electro's costume with the lightning bolts comes from. And
Woo!
Yeah, finally an explanation, and he is actually right. Alright, so there's this scene where Harry Osborn enters the Ravencroft prison, he puts the lab coat so nobody can recognize him, right? And he goes through the hallway, and there's Dr. Kefka telling, bring the containment team. And he walks down the hallway as well, past Harry Osborn, and there are two guys actually wearing, guess what? Electro's costumes. Basically a black leather costume with lightning bolts on it. It's a very brief shot, but thanks to my fan who spotted it, we finally know that Electro didn't spend like hours making his costume. It's actually a costume used by one of the containment team members.
He just stole a suit that somehow managed to fit him.
Because I do remember watching lots of reviews, you know, when the movie came out, and most of the people were actually complaining, how Electro gets his costume with the lightning bolts, it's so ridiculous. So now we know that he actually steals it.
That still doesn't explain how the suit's able to dematerialize with him, if it's just something that guards are wearing.
And it doesn't explain how he's able to wear those shorts right after he escapes.
Well, at least he wore the trousers, if you compare to Dr. Manhattan with his huge blue dick. It wasn't really a problem in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. So a special thanks to David Quinn, who actually sent me here are actually the images. As you can see, there's this guy wearing exactly the same costume as Electro. Finally, one less complaint about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Mission accomplished.
Now I know why I was distracted in the scene. I was looking at that lens flare.
Of course, the one thing is, people who don't like the movie will ask the question. I'll be like, "Oh, it's because guards." And no, nothing with guards. You have to prove it by showing them this podcast.
The only problem with this costume is that the lightning bolts are actually colored yellow, and Electro's costume it was all black, as far as I remember.
Yep.
Maybe he doesn't like the color yellow. Screw you, yellow! I'm not letting you on my costume.
So here is a conclusion between the Ravencroft scene and the moment they go to Oscorp. Electro and Harry. Electro managed to paint his costume a little bit, just tune up.
Black.
Well, then again, we don't know how much time could have passed between. I mean, it couldn't have been too long, but it could have been a few hours for all we know. So maybe Harry had some time to make some quick adjustments to the suit.
Check out the links in the description box. Thanks for watching, and of course, we are out for now.
Thanks for watching, guys, and I'm out for now.